sometimes I feel extremely angry that
Yes.
somewhere, someplace, some part of me decided it was acceptable to put me in an experience of distress.
Yes.
You know, from the higher perspective, it expands consciousness in limitation and teaches
Yes.
other beings, and it's
Yes.
oh so good for the rest of the universe. But my moment is misery,
Yes.
horror, fear,
Yes.
anger.
Yes.
And
so,
I get angry that I've been put in
Yes.
that position, and I
well,
want to know
the
who put me there.
anger in that sense is actually the recognition that you put yourself in that position. The anger is from the fact that you're not taking yourself out of it. Because you were not put in the position, you chose it. The anger comes from not being willing to choose something else. So you can use the anger to find out what the belief is that you have bought into that makes you feel like you should not choose something other than those negative experiences. That's what the anger comes from. You're angry at yourself for not choosing something different. And you can't figure out why you're not choosing something different because you're not in touch with the belief system that makes it seem all right to continue in the way that you have chosen in the first place. Make sense?
Well, if myself knew that I could get lost
Yes.
and knew that I might have these terrible experiences and decided to do it anyway,
Yes.
that,
But you see,
that
from
seems
that
to me like a lack of love.
perspective, but from that perspective, it's not terrible. The idea is it understood that you were going to explore certain themes. It didn't in any way, shape, or form insist that you had to experience them in a negative way. That just recognized that that might happen because anytime you walk into a haunted house, things might jump out at you and you might get momentarily scared. At the same time, if you look behind the illusion and understand that they're just special effects, you don't have to be scared. So the higher self knows that you have the capacity to treat these things as illusions and special effects and not have to choose to be scared, even though it knows originally that you could choose to be scared because you walked into a place that has things that can scare you. But the choice is yours as to how you experience the theme. It's not like any part of yourself forced yourself to have to experience negative or scary things. It's showing you that you have the power to transform these things, to see through the illusion. And you're only angry because you haven't done it yet. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, because it's sometimes hard to understand the layers of the self. And
Yes, but that's all right. The point is to not be angry at yourself for not understanding. That's the first step. And then you give yourself a break and say, it's all right that I don't understand. The paradox is it has to be all right for you to be angry. It has to be all right for you to not understand in order to actually let go of the anger and to understand. But you're not all right with that. And so what you're doing is you're devaluing an experience. You're devaluing the idea of dark side as a valid experience. And by devaluing it, you're attempting to push it away, and by attempting to push it away, you recognize it becomes a spring that has nowhere to go except to bounce back, stronger and stronger and stronger. So the idea is you have to accept that negative experiences are part and parcel of at least what's possible and that they are valid as choices. When you validate that the dark side is a valid choice, then you don't have to choose it. The only reason you're having a tough time getting away from it is because you will not accept that polarity is part of existence. Make sense?
how do I get to the point where I do accept it?
The idea, again, is to recognize that without the dark side, you wouldn't know the light. So the darkness gives you the opportunity to actually see what you prefer.
Okay.
So you have to validate it as having a reason for existing and not judge it to have no place in reality. You contain dark and light. You contain positive and negative. You contain polarity. You always will. Therefore, you have to accept that part of you is dark and will always be. But you don't have to choose an experience from that side. But the only way to choose an experience only from the positive side is to validate that it's all right if you decide to choose one from the negative side. Once it becomes all right, once the negative side becomes an equally valid choice, then you don't have to choose it. There's no charge on it. There's no onus on it. You're not running away from it. You're letting it live there, but you're not experiencing the effect because you let it be a valid choice, and thus you remove all power from it. You just turn it into a neutral choice, that's all.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.